Dogs rarely express love the way humans do. They don't say words. They don't explain emotions. And most of the time, they show affection in silence. But if you pay close attention to the small things dogs do every day, you may realize something extraordinary. Your dog may be telling you, "I love you," far more often than you think. Not through grand gestures, not through dramatic behavior, but through quiet habits, small routines, and emotional closeness that slowly becomes part of everyday life. Because for dogs, love is usually silent. And according to canine behavior specialists, many of the behaviors people see as ordinary are actually deeply connected to trust, attachment, comfort, and emotional bonding. In fact, modern dogs evolved beside humans for thousands of years. And during that time, they developed an extraordinary ability to bond emotionally with people. That emotional connection became so strong that dogs now form attachment patterns surprisingly similar to those seen between humans and close family members, which may explain why certain behaviors from dogs can feel incredibly emotional, even without words. One of the quietest ways dogs show affection is simply choosing to stay near you. Dogs are naturally social animals, and in the animal world, proximity matters. Animals stay close to the individuals they trust most, the ones that make them feel safe, comfortable, protected. So when your dog follows you from room to room, lies beside your chair, or quietly rests nearby while you do ordinary things, they may not simply be being clingy. Very often, they are choosing closeness. And emotionally, that choice matters more than most people realize. Many dog owners assume affection only exists during obvious moments. Tail wagging, excited greetings, playfulness. But real attachment often appears during the quiet moments instead. When your dog calmly sleeps beside your bed, when they quietly wait near the bathroom door, when they follow you into another room, only to lie down again without asking for anything. Those moments may seem small, but emotionally, they say a lot. Behavior researchers explain that dogs often seek physical proximity to people they trust because closeness itself creates emotional security. Your presence becomes part of what helps them feel calm and safe. And over time, you slowly become part of their emotional stability. Another quiet way dogs show love is through observation. Many dogs spend large portions of the day silently watching the humans they care about most. Not because they always need something, but because emotionally attached dogs naturally monitor the people important to them. They notice routines, moods, movement, energy, patterns. Some dogs can even sense emotional shifts before humans speak a single word. Studies suggest dogs are highly sensitive to changes in facial expression, posture, tone of voice, and even scent changes related to stress or emotion, which may explain why dogs sometimes approach gently during difficult emotional moments. Sometimes they quietly place their head beside you. Sometimes they stay close in silence. And sometimes they simply watch carefully from nearby, not because they fully understand human problems the way another person might, but because they recognize emotional change, and they respond to it socially. And perhaps one of the most beautiful things about dogs is that they often offer comfort without needing words at all. Another powerful sign of affection is trust during vulnerability. When dogs feel emotionally safe, they begin exposing vulnerable behaviors around certain humans. Sleeping deeply beside you, rolling onto their back, relaxing completely during touch, closing their eyes while resting nearby. In the animal world, vulnerability requires trust. And trust is one of the clearest foundations of attachment. That's why many experts believe a relaxed dog is often an emotionally secure dog, especially around the humans they trust most. And interestingly, dogs also communicate affection through physical contact. a gentle lean against your leg, resting their head on your lap, pressing softly into your hand, sleeping against your feet. To humans, these may seem like tiny behaviors, but socially, they are forms of connection. Physical closeness helps strengthen emotional bonds in many social species, and dogs are no exception. In fact, interaction between dogs and humans has been shown to increase oxytocin levels in both species. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone, the same hormone associated with trust, emotional attachment, affection, and social connection, which means affection between dogs and humans is not simply imagined emotionally. It's reflected biologically too. And perhaps that explains why emotional moments with dogs can feel so incredibly genuine. Of course, dogs also express affection through excitement, tail wagging, happy greetings, bringing toys, following you to the door. But sometimes people misunderstand the deeper meaning behind those behaviors. Very often, excitement itself comes from emotional significance. Your return home matters to them. Your attention matters. Your presence matters. Because emotionally attached dogs begin organizing part of their daily emotional world around the people they love most. And perhaps one of the clearest examples of this is waiting. Many dogs wait quietly for the humans they care about. At doors, near windows, beside hallways, not because they understand clocks or schedules the way humans do, but because attachment creates anticipation. They notice absence, and they notice return. That's why many dogs seem genuinely relieved when their favorite person comes back home, because emotionally, reconnection matters to them. And maybe this is what makes the bond between humans and dogs feel so unique. Dogs don't love through language. They love through presence, tension, routine, observation, trust, and emotional closeness. Their affection often exists inside the smallest moments. The moments many people barely notice. The quiet sigh while lying beside you. The soft eyes while watching you work. The calmness they feel simply because you are nearby. Those things may not look dramatic, but emotionally, they can mean everything. And perhaps that's why life with dogs affects people so deeply. Because over time, dogs slowly become part of our emotional rhythm too. Their routines become familiar. Their presence becomes comforting. And eventually, their silent affection becomes something people feel every single day. And interestingly, some of the strongest signs of affection from dogs are also the easiest to overlook. Because dogs often express love through consistency, not intensity. A dog does not need to constantly demand attention to feel emotionally attached. In many cases, emotionally secure dogs simply want to remain connected to the people they trust, quietly, naturally, without asking for much at all. That's why some dogs seem happiest just sharing space with their favorite person, lying nearby while you work, sleeping close to your feet, following you into another room, only to quietly settle down again. To humans, these moments may feel ordinary, but socially and emotionally, they are incredibly meaningful behaviors, because in the canine world, staying close often means staying connected. And perhaps one of the most emotional examples of this is how many dogs react to human vulnerability. Behavior specialists frequently observe dogs becoming calmer and more attentive when their owners are sick, emotionally distressed, or physically exhausted. Some dogs become unusually gentle. Others refuse to leave the person's side. And some quietly monitor the room while remaining nearby for hours. Not because dogs understand every human emotion perfectly, but because emotionally bonded animals naturally respond to emotional changes inside their social group. And over thousands of years beside humans, dogs became remarkably sensitive to us, to our routines, our expressions, our energy, even our silence, which may explain why dogs sometimes seem to comfort people without being taught to do so. Sometimes they simply know something feels different. And perhaps this emotional sensitivity is part of what makes dogs feel so deeply present in human life. Because unlike many relationships humans experience, dogs rarely care about status, success, appearance, or perfection. What matters most to them is familiarity, trust, safety, connection, and once that bond forms deeply enough, dogs often continue expressing affection in small silent ways every single day. Even simply making eye contact can become part of emotional bonding. Research involving dogs and humans has shown that calm mutual eye contact can increase oxytocin levels in both species, the same bonding hormone associated with emotional attachment between close family members, which means your dog may literally feel emotionally connected while calmly looking at you. And maybe that explains why certain moments with dogs feel strangely powerful, even when nothing dramatic is happening at all. Sometimes affection exists in silence, in presence, in simple companionship, and dogs may understand that better than almost any other animal on Earth. If you want to deepen that connection even further while improving your dog's behavior naturally through positive mental stimulation, there's a science-based program many dog owners have found incredibly helpful. It's called Brain Training for Dogs. And instead of relying on punishment or dominance, it focuses on communication, engagement, trust, and mentally stimulating exercises that strengthen the bond between dogs and humans. Many owners use it to improve focus, reduce anxiety, encourage calm behavior, and better understand how dogs think emotionally. If you'd like to learn more, you can find it in the description below. And if you enjoy these emotional explorations into canine psychology and behavior, don't forget to subscribe to Canine Code. Because every week, we explore the hidden emotional world of dogs and the quiet behaviors that often mean far more than people realize. So the next time your dog quietly sits beside you, follows you into another room, or simply watches you in silence, remember this: dogs may not say, "I love you," the way humans do, but in their own quiet language, they may be saying it constantly. And maybe the most beautiful part of all is that they never needed words in the first place.